Before the Bleu de Chanels, Sauvages, Dior Hommes, Laytons, and Lamals, this was the king of the modern mass appeal masculine scents. That's true. Hello scented world, welcome back to yet another fragrance review. My name is JP and it's always a pleasure to have the returning viewers, and for those who are joining us for the first time, you are by far most welcome. This channel exists to share informative content through our unboxing experiences and our fragrance reviews so that you have a worthwhile buying experience. Yes, so if that sounds like content you really are down for, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and smash the notification bell so that you never miss out every single time we drop a review. So the fragrance we're going to talk about today is one of the iconic releases that we were graced with in the early 2000s, and this one has been somewhat reformulated and the presentation is different from what I have today. I think this one is regarded as the pre-2023 release because the bottle presentation is completely different from this one I'm going to be showing you guys today. And the fragrance we're talking about today is Armani Code EDT from the house of Giorgio Armani. So Armani Code is classified as an oriental spicy fragrance. It was launched in 2004 and the master perfumer behind this one is Antoine Lee. Now let's quickly look at the bottle presentation before we jump into the juice talk and talk about this fragrance in detail. So this is what the bottle looks like, and immediately this will remind you of countless flankers within the line. It just shows you the success of this fragrance. It has this beautiful cylindrical bottle, but like I alluded earlier on, that the presentation to date is completely different from this, and it looks something like this. And there are a couple of flankers within this line that was released in 2023. Now this one has your beautiful black plain with some detailing here by the neck, and the bottle cap is plastic. Over here you have your Giorgio Armani logo engraved on the cap, and the bottle and the cap has some funky locking mechanism. It's not a locking mechanism as such, but you cannot close it just anyhow you want it. There has to be some alignment here with some funky stuff inside the cap. Ooh, almost dropped it. Not that it was gonna break because it's a light plastic cap, but the point I'm trying to make is that the cap has to fit in a certain way. Even the shape of the bottle, as you spin it around, you will see that it's not entirely equal. You know, I want to say sides, but because it's cylindrical, can you really say sides? I don't know. Share in the comment section if you can really say sides when you're talking about a cylindrical object. That was a discourse. Anyways, that's how the bottle looks like. A beautiful presentation. Let me quickly waste a couple of sprays before we jump into the juice talk. Average atomizer does the work nonetheless. So this fragrance opens with lemon and bergamot. Then in the heart you're going to get star anise, Gaia Good, and olive blossom. Then right on the base there's leather, tonka bean, and tobacco. So this is a powdery woodsy scent, and the powdery side of this fragrance adds to that grown-up aspect to it. So this is not a polarizing fragrance. It's not loud, it doesn't scream, it talks with manners. So the scent has some level of sweetness to it thanks to the tonka bean right on the base, and I really wish that leather and tobacco were more pronounced so that this one can just stand out and have some flamboyant personality to it, because it really doesn't just scream at your face. So when and where can you wear this fragrance? So this is a versatile fragrance, and that allows you to creep it in for different scenarios. For instance, it makes a beautiful office scent. If you work in a call center, or perhaps you're sharing some workspace, some cubicles with colleagues, this is going to wear amazing because it's not a polarizing scent profile, so it's not going to be cloying, it's not going to be invasive if you're wearing it to the office. I think one thing I should share is that this fragrance wears weird on me. Yeah, it does. For instance, this performs poorly on a hot summer's day, and the sweetness can be a bit cloying. However, this is not beefy enough to carry it throughout the winter cold. So summer evenings, I enjoy this thing. Gloomy days with some humidity, I love it completely. So spring and autumn would be by far the most suitable conditions for you to get the best out of this fragrance. Like I said, it's not a beefy profile to make it through the cold. It's really not going to perform at its optimal level. For spring and autumn, go for it. But on summer rainy days, definitely you can kill it with this fragrance. So now let's quickly talk about the performance and longevity. And I say quickly because this is the sad part. The performance of this fragrance is disappointing, heartbreaking if we're being honest, and the longevity, poverty. 5 hours of struggle. If you really want to enjoy this, you really need to overspray. I'm talking 16 sprays or more. This fragrance is not a room filler, so you need to go wild on the number of sprays you wear. So overspray on your clothes, because scent holds better on clothing material than it does on our skins. And because the DNA really isn't a polarizing one, it's going to create a beautiful, noticeable scent bubble. This fragrance might probably appeal to an older audience because this was released in the early 2000s, and most people share the sentiment that this was their first fragrance to either collect or receive as a gift. And people who started collecting around the early 2000s, I'd like to think that they are in their 30s heading to their 40s. So that's why I'm saying this might appeal to an older audience. However, if you're still a young adult who's still finding themselves in the workplace, I think this is worth checking out. This is one of those beautiful blends that were ever created. This is most probably going to appeal to men, but I've seen a couple of ladies review this fragrance and talk about how this is in their acquisition and how they enjoy wearing this. So if you're a lady who's into woodsy, powdery scent profiles, I think this is worth checking out. Or it could be just bias talking right now. So the plan with this review was to compare this fragrance with its dupe. That one is called Armani Code by Fragrance World. Unfortunately, the fragrance has found a new owner and I cannot review it, as I promised a lot of people in the comment sections that were asking about it in one of the shots that I dropped. However, this is what I would say about that fragrance and this fragrance, that literally they captured the DNA. I really wish it was readily available because I struggled to get other bottles after I got that one and gave it away. And I can imagine most people are just waiting to hear what is the comparison like. How is the scent profile on this dupe compared to this? They really did a good job. In fact, I smelled that before I actually owned a bottle of this, and after I got this bottle, I was bummed that really I made a redundant purchase of getting this bottle, because you can imagine it's not easy to find these ones. However, because of sentiment, I thought, you know what, I'm a collector, I have to keep this one, and also for my enjoyment, I guess. The opening, just the same. The performance, equally poor. I wish the performance on the dupe was amped up a little more than this, because really that's what dupes are known for, right? Correcting what the OGs might have been struggling to correct and amping up whatever weaknesses such as performance and longevity, and maybe enhancing some notes. But with that dupe, it is literally a one-to-one dupe. I wish I can find it sooner and maybe hook some of you guys, because I know a lot of people really have been asking me to drop a review about that one. I hope this will give you an idea what kind of fragrance you should expect from that dupe. I think you should go for it. Blind buy it if you have to. There's nothing really much you can lose. I mean, they are relatively cheaper than the OGs, right? So go for it. Let's go back to the review. Dark, smooth, and effortlessly seductive. Classy, confident, and always in control. And that is my review of this fragrance. Please share in the comment section what has been your experience with this fragrance. Are you familiar with it? Which flanker do you own within the line Armani Code? We would really love to hear from you guys. And while you're at it, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you never miss out every single time we drop a review. Until we meet again on yet another fragrance review, remember to keep well and stay smelling great.